All right, can you hear me now?
There he is. Let me get
Okay.
this guy. What's going on, Mr. Chad?
Just got done picking up kids from school.
Fun times, fun times.
Yep.
Um, it's good to see your face again since our last call. What's new? What's going on?
Oh, I mean, a lot of work starting to sort of happen. I mean, I have three on the books to go do. I've got bigger ones that are gonna go on the books, but nobody knows when I can do them. I mean, for example, one lady's waiting on some stuff resolved with an attorney that has to do with the property, so she doesn't want to schedule it yet. Then I've got another decent one in Pittsylvania County.
Okay.
That guy's, I mean, he's asked for clarification on the estimate and stuff, and I've given it to him, and he says he wants to do it, but I haven't gotten 100% commitment out of
Gotcha.
him. Now,
Okay.
on the big job that I think will push over 200 grand, when you do the actual site work, I have not basically, well, I don't want to flip screens and read it to you, but there's a text. The guy
Okay.
says, "We've chosen you. I got a few questions I have to ask from the engineers." So I say, "Okay, sounds good. I'll call you." I call him, I talk to him, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "Let me get them on the phone and I'll call you right back." And then 3 days later, I still haven't heard from him. Then I'll message him and say, "Hey, just checking to see if you talked to your engineers
Right.
to see what questions they wanted to ask me."
Right.
And he'll be like, "Yeah, let me get right back to you." And then he disappears. But then he'll message and say, "Yeah, you're doing the work." So I'm like, "Well, when the hell am I doing the work?"
Right. So that's kind of up in the air. That's a 200K job from us. Is that what he's saying?
I think it'll be over 200 when it's said and done, because if he wants me to do the site clearing, it's commercial. So if he wants me to do all the site clearing plus the actual site work, putting it on grade, plus if I do the work for, like in Virginia, they're going to require an underground retention basin. If I got all that work, yeah, I'd say it's probably $250,000 worth of work.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So if that comes through, that's going to be huge. Uh,
Huge,
so
yes.
Okay, well, you got some decent ones locked up already. I mean, it's not a quarter million. I know you got like a $30,000 one, or
There's a couple. There's one or two 20s, a 30, mid to upper 30s. The first one I ever got off you guys, I mean, that woman is committed, but she's doing a USDA loan because they're like homesteading.
okay,
So, I mean, I'm at the mercy of funding from the loan aspect, but she had it all figured out. She's like, "We're not using anybody but you." I don't
right.
think she's going anywhere. I just don't think that's something you
She'll
could
get funded for.
get her to commit that day. What day we're going to start that job?
Okay. Well, I mean, so some of these are set in stone, some of them aren't really yet, but it sounds like you've got close to 400K in opportunities.
Yes, trust me. My wife has made a comment. We wish we'd have used you guys in Florida before I ever found
Before you ever found what?
using, because I probably may not have moved my business back to Virginia if I had done that.
Right, the our competitors.
Yes.
So how long? Walk me through that. How long were you with them again? Was it 3 months?
No, I was with them for a year.
A year?
A
What
year.
what took
And
you
I
so
don't,
long?
I can ask because my wife's over. Jessica, how much work did we actually do through Rise, do you think? Less than 100 grand in a year. Yes.
You got that your first 2 weeks with us.
Correct. So I mean, that's why we're up in the air. We're setting up a new business name, but I want to do it a little differently for some tax reasons. Versus, like, our current company is a corporation, so I'm trying to do a lot of the gray area that very, very wealthy people do, but it's very challenging, because there's nothing out there telling you exactly how to do it.
I have like a trust and then LC inside the trust, and then this trust owns that trust, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so we have a trust. We've had a trust for a while,
Yeah.
and now I've got the trust is going to own the new LLC that we're starting for Florida, and then basically what we're trying to do is get our Duns and Bradstreet number so you can establish credit for the new business.
Right.
However, there's some loopholes you got to jump through with the IRS for the federal tax ID number,
Right. The EIN.
because you don't, yeah, the EIN number, so you don't want your my wife or my personal name as the manager. The trust is the manager. The trust owns the company.
You don't want to
So
have any personal connection to the.
correct.
Yeah.
So we're getting that done, and at that point, I think we're going to go ahead and work on you guys doing a website, but we're probably going to change the company name. And I mean, I don't know how to do it. I think we've spoken before about running ads in Florida and running ads in Virginia.
Right.
I've just got to wrap my head around on how to try to balance that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we'll figure something out. I mean, we spoke earlier about the kind of like the May game plan.
Yes,
So I don't know if that's still kind of on the
that
table
is it.
for you
Yep.
guys. Okay. All right. Whatever it is that you guys are looking for, really, we're here. So whether
Doesn't Brady does he have another business? Does he do land clearing himself?
no.
He,
So
okay.
he has close friends that do it. That's how he got into this whole thing, but he doesn't own his own.
Okay. Okay.
So
So I'd be interested to know for the area I'm in, because I'm 3 hours north of him, basically.
right. Um,
Um,
I think you're close to Tampa.
I am. I'm about an hour south of Tampa.
Yeah, I mean, Chad, like I said, like Florida is like it's a hot market no matter where you are. But I can connect you with some of our clients. I know we have a client in Tampa. So you can kind of pick his brain a little, and see what he has to say.
Yeah, he's a tree company, isn't he, that does some land clearing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's worth it. I mean, there is a really large tree company close by, but what I've noticed, like in Tampa, a lot of people own lots and build their own individual houses.
Right.
The problem is that concerns me is this area is not like that. Everybody's buying in a development, and the
Right. Yeah, we
development.
spoke about this, right? So like your
Yep.
10 mile within your 10 mile Saratoga radius, you've got that issue. But once you go out of that 10 mile circle, it's normal Florida land, right? So it's like
Correct.
just your immediate circle is like that. That doesn't mean all of Florida is like that. You go 30 minutes in any direction and you're not in that environment.
No, and if you run me an hour south of here, there's a lot of work. I know that for a
Right.
fact.
Right. So that's much better than 12 hours up north and
Oh,
Virginia. So what
yes,
would you rather do, an hour south or 12 hours up north?
correct, and that's what we're working on. But the Virginia side is the seed money basically to get back into Florida. And I mean, if I could figure out how to balance both,
Right.
probably would try to do it.
Gotcha. Whatever it is that you guys are looking to do, we can make it happen. If it's getting campaigns in both areas and getting you leads in both areas, so you can keep both areas busy, that's fine. If it's pausing it in Virginia and moving it to Florida, that's fine. Really, whatever you guys need to do,
Okay.
we're here for you and we can make it happen. But let's quickly recap here on everything. We're about 2 weeks into the program, give or
Yep.
take. Run me through like the numbers, how you're feeling about everything, ROI. What's it looking like 2 weeks into the program? How do you feel?
Oh, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's definitely impressive. I wouldn't say pretty impressive. Um, you still get a lot. So for example, my wife said I should ask you guys, like, if you go to my lead center on my business suite for Facebook,
Yep,
there's obviously some leads in there that must have come through that you guys vetted, that
correct.
it doesn't, you don't schedule an appointment.
Exactly.
Is it worth calling those again, like on my side to call?
Some of those will be leads that didn't answer the phone. So like we've texted, emailed, and called and they didn't answer. And then some of those will be people that did answer the phone and weren't a good fit for you. So
Gotcha.
just know that if you are sifting through them, you're kind of sifting through the junk. Like there might still be some like winners in there, but you're sifting through the lower quality leads, right? Uh,
Gotcha.
that being said, it can't hurt, right? It can't hurt. More calls the better, right? Especially when it's coming from different numbers. But yeah, all the leads you see in there that haven't been scheduled into estimates have been people that we spoke with or disqualified for you.
Okay. Just wasn't sure. We saw that and we were just like, I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
if that's even worth my time, because I'm pretty sure these all came through them. So,
Yeah. No, that's a reasonable question. Yeah. So those are all the leads you see, we've already, went through them.
okay.
Yep. But that being said, like if you get a direct message or like a comment on a post, those are not contacted leads. So those are leads that we haven't spoken to. So people that DM'd you maybe, or people
Okay.
that comment on your post, those are fair game. Like I would go after them. Some of those are low hanging fruit, right? So um, I'd keep an eye out for that. Okay.
Okay.
And then once we get your website going, you'll also start getting some direct inbound calls from the ads, just kind of like as overflow traffic. So do expect that as well. But yeah, all the leads generated directly from the ads, don't worry about them. We've spoken to them. anything
Okay.
like a private message, a direct message, or like a comment or a call, anything like that, that's all you guys. Is that
Okay. Now I did get a direct message on a lead through Business Suite that has actually turned out to be, Jessica, how much is Angie O'Connor's job? I know a $30,000 that came directly in through Business Suite.
so you already locked up like 100K?
Yeah, roughly. I mean, I'm ready to go get it done, but of course,
Well, it's
it's
fine. I mean, just whatever. I know you haven't actually done the job yet, but how many closed deals?
that have
100K.
committed. So I've got one. It's probably 10. It may
10,000?
be a little. It may be a little over. If you don't count the big one, it's probably still a little over 100, maybe 100, 110,000, somewhere in there.
Oh, 110.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Wow. That's a crazy ROI right there, Chad. 2 weeks into this thing.
Well, and that's what kind of tears me because I'm like, man, it seems to be really good in Virginia. Can it be that good in Florida? I'm sure it could, but man, that's a lot of
Yeah.
a lot
Well,
of
like you
stuff.
said, you're in Florida right now, Chad. So like if you wanted to feel out the leads for a week, spend $300 in ad spend, like it's really not a much less expensive mistake, let's say, than hauling all your machines over here and then learning it the wrong way.
It is. It is.
So,
That might be what we do on the next week that I'm down. I'm probably going to go back up for 3 or 4 weeks to get a bunch of this completed because some of it's like actually lined up on the book starting like March 8th.
yeah.
Get a bunch of those done. There's another chance of damn snow again around March 6th, which I'm not 100% pleased with. But
March, huh? Crazy.
yeah, I mean, March in Virginia, we do get some big snows, has happened. However,
Well, I'm from Jersey, so I mean, I feel your pain.
yeah. So it's one of those things that it may snow, but later on the day it may be melted and gone as well.
Right.
But it's off to a really good start, and I know I don't want to flip over and look at my schedule right now on the calendar because I don't want to lose you on the Zoom aspect. But I know if you look at my schedule, I think since I've been back down in Florida, you've already put 7 or 8 on the books for appointments.
Oh, you've got your whole week full when you're back. Yeah,
Correct.
you're gonna have a busy week lined up for you. So that's gonna be good. I'm sure another 50 grand in there too. So
I'm hoping. I am hoping. I had a guy today. I think he went off of the ad, but he actually messaged me direct through Business Suite. So it's not even one. I did schedule them on the calendar as well to go look at it. But he's got 5 acres he wants done, and
that's pretty good.
it is. So here's what we're running up against, and I don't know how much you actually know about the land clearing aspect. I'm sure you know some from dealing with clients. So when you get into Virginia, you're dealing with a different vegetation than a Florida client is. The vegetation is much
Right.
harder because you guys, with Jersey, you got oaks, you got those kind of things. You just don't really have that in Florida.
Yep.
So we're ending up like I still think I'm going to close this because the guy messaged me today. It was about a 4 acre deal that I priced, I don't know, a week or two ago. And
Okay.
he messaged me and says, "Hey, why is your price higher? I've got guys quoting $1,800 a day for a forestry mulcher." And I said, "Well, 2 reasons. One, I'm bringing in a 30,000 pound piece of equipment. They're doing that with a skid steer. We're not bidding apples to apples.
Right.
And we're starting to see a lot of the work really needs a dedicated mulcher versus a skid steer with a mulcher on it.
Right.
And
So I would rephrase that next time, just let them know, hey, they're charging 1,800 a day, but they're gonna need 5 more days to get it done. That will register a lot quicker than like a 30,000 pound machine. Like, cause
true,
don't really understand that, you know what I'm saying?
I
I do,
do.
obviously, but yeah, there's just an adjustment there. But keep going.
But we're seeing some of that taking place where we're pricing against the young guy with a skid steer type mulcher, and that's not the same as me bringing a $450,000 mulcher out there.
Right. Right.
And that's exactly what it does come down to. I can go do that job in a day with a dedicated mulcher, where the guy with the skid steer is going to charge him 5 days.
So why just tell them, hey, I'll give you a project price. If you don't want the daily rate, I'll give you a total price. It's going to take them way more than so and so days to get this done.
Correct.
You can
And
explain.
that's what I'm going to start doing is that way. But I've got 2 like that right now.
Okay.
The thing is, it did register with them, and the one has already said, "Okay, I tell you what, if you can do the project," and it was like a $6,900 project.
Yeah.
but then he wanted a little additional area done. He's like, if I slide you another $5,000, will you do this amount of it? And I'm probably going to say yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah, like
don't.
I said, even if you don't, even if it's like not as at the profit margin you'd like it to be, I'd take it just because, you know, they might give you more work, you know, once you do a good job, or they might give you a referral or whatever it might be, right? So I think any job is better than no job.
No, don't
I'll still
disagree.
put into like a risk reward ratio. You don't want to, you know, risk a $500,000 machine over a small job. But you know, if it makes sense, if it's not to your liking, but it makes sense, I would do it.
Okay.
Just for the referral, whatever.
Got it.
But dude, that's super exciting. I mean, so I guess apples to apples, how would you compare this to to I mean,
It's not even apples to apples. I don't really understand because now, for some reason, I hadn't seen even his own personal ads. You know, I always saw you guys, Brady's and stuff coming up,
right.
but I hadn't seen in a while, and now it's coming up left and right. And then I got a text from him the other day, and it said, "Yes, we are aware of the Facebook scams or something." I'm like, "Who are you texting?" I'm like, "I haven't been with you in forever. You have no access to any of my shit." But
Oh, so something happened?
I guess I don't. Yeah, I deleted it this morning. I would read it to you, but it basically said it was from and it said something about we. I guess it was a blanket text to any previous or current clients. I don't
Right,
know.
right.
And I'm thinking, dude, you're messaging me, and I haven't been with you, nor would I let you touch my stuff ever again. Like whatever you've got. See, I told you before, a whole month of ad running with them did not go well because they were blaming it on Facebook.
Right.
They were saying that Facebook had an issue. Well, I don't know if I 100% believe that, if you know what I mean. Maybe
Yeah.
they did, maybe they didn't, but I don't know how you can blame it on Facebook for a whole month that I didn't get anything.
Right. Right.
So
Do you
if you go look at how many total true appointments I'm meeting with that you guys have vetted, which I've been to the ones so far, and yes, they're all legit jobs. Maybe one or two. I got one. I could tell you a story you could, and I'm pretty blunt, so we're being recorded, but to understand I'm pretty blunt. I honestly called my wife. There was a job that popped up in Sussex that you guys booked, which there's no reason you wouldn't book it because it appeared to be grading.
Yeah.
The guy's got this house. I'm out in the absolute middle of nowhere, and something just told me because it was like, I don't know, 5 o'clock on a Thursday, and I'm like, I bet something just stupid off the wall is going to go with this deal. I'm waiting around for it, but you're thinking, I
Yeah.
bet if I could figure this out, it's probably not worth me going. So I go.
Right.
I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I'm over towards Virginia Beach, which I
Okay.
don't know how, but I understand how the system works. So I was like 100 miles from Richmond,
Okay.
and which is obviously way
Did
past
you
the area
speak to
that
this
we're
guy on the
doing.
phone before you made that drive?
I did speak to the wife. The man was busy with work because I tried to move the appointment up to get
Right.
it done earlier in the day.
Right.
And she couldn't tell me much more than the fact that they needed some dirt and some grading around their house. So when you hear that, it goes, okay,
Yeah.
not an easy job. Bring a skid steer out, get 5 loads of, 20, 100 tons of dirt dumped and spread it out and get them ready for plant grass seed and move along. Not a
Right.
hard job. No, it was crazy. They had peacocks. They had chickens. They actually had a wild turkey that tried to kill me.
What?
I'm not lying. I called my wife. I'm like, Jessica, you wouldn't believe this. I went to this one, and this is the only one I went to. I said there was goats screwing in the front yard. And she's like, "You serious?" I'm like, "Yes." So I was like, "What? What do you need?" We walk around. I mean, this guy, it's like truly like a petting zoo. I'm not lying.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I just want to get like a dump trailer worth of dirt and spread out." I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking I'm 100 miles from my area realistically. So we said we'd go 50. I'm like, my price is going to be so high. You're going to tell me no on the job anyway.
Chad, this is why I'm telling you, dude, you gotta speak to them before you make that drive, especially if it's 100 miles. I told you this.
You did. But see, I never could talk to him. It was always the wife. And I talked to him several times because I tried to move that appointment around for a little while, actually, after it got scheduled.
Uh-huh.
And just knowing I was getting ready the next day to fly back to Florida. So I was going to
Right.
keep trying to move it up, but they would not budge. Matter of
Right.
fact, I think maybe you guys even tried to move it too. But anyway, talking to her, like I said, every time I talked to her, it seemed like something we do. It's not, if it was right down the street, I'd go run and do it and charge you $1,500.
Right. Right.
But that far away, you may be contacting me because of the simple fact you just truly can't find anybody to do it, to be real honest. So my thought was throw a figure on it. If they don't do it, so be it. But here's my figure. But that's the only one. I mean, other than that, maybe one or two that were more like tree company oriented more than land clearing.
Okay.
The rest have been pretty much dead on with either grade work or clearing.
Exactly what you're looking for.
Yes. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
What would you say your close rate is? If these fall through, the ones that are looking promising.
So I've got 3 right now on deposit. The 30s and the 20s have not done deposits, but that's because I did state I would prefer to collect a deposit. Once we can set the schedule, 5 days before I start, we're going to set a deposit. They're fine with it. Nobody knows that start date. Now, of course, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to push them to. It's going to be March.
Gotcha.
But I've got to wait on the one. I have to wait on whatever she's got to work out with this legal easement with the attorney. But the attorney told her he would have it done before March 1st. So if it's done before March 1st, basically I will go straight to her job approximately around March 10th, and that's a 30, and then I'll go straight from it to another mid-20 the next week, basically. Because these aren't all these projects are me working 12, 13 hours are really like 3-4 day projects, maybe.
I'm completely happy with that. If you're doing 5, 6, 7 of those a month, like you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
they're there.
Obviously, like the month-long 200 quarter-mil jobs are like the dream, right? They're ideal. But I just kind of look at those as like cherry on top. Like if they come through, great. It's really those medium-sized ones are going to keep you going,
Well, they're going to be your fillers. Now you're still going to find those $250,000 jobs, but they're not going to be as frequent.
Right. Right.
Unless some big general contractor picks you up, which is possible.
Yep. You only need a couple of them a year to really make your year, though. You land 3 of those a year, man, you're in great shape. So
yes.
But yeah, dude, that's great to hear. So it sounds like all the leads are what you're looking for. Some of them are closed, some of them will probably close, some of them won't close, but for the most part, exactly what you're looking for as far as shots on board.
Yes. Yep. And
awesome.
I'm gonna get this website form filled out. Me and my wife are gonna go through that and get that to you because we're gonna get that moving.
Okay. Yeah,
I know you need it sooner than later because it takes time, but we've just been swamped. Plus, I had to take an exam when I got back here for another licensure.
Oh boy.
But yeah, so I'm trying to balance a lot of stuff in a week time frame.
No, you're good. Whenever you get the chance, it is a pretty hefty form. So whenever you get like 30 minutes free, tackle that thing for me.
Okay.
But I guess, Chad, I'm sure for other people, I guess, you were probably skeptical when you heard about us, especially with your previous experience with what they kind of did to you. And I guess something made you move forward with this. What would you say to other people that kind of had bad experiences with other marketing companies? And now they're kind of like, can I trust these guys? These look the same. These guys look exactly the same as or this company or that company. What would you say if someone's going through that thought process?
It's an absolute 360. For me, it is a 360-degree turn compared to anything I dealt with at Now, I've had some personal friends that aren't in land clearing, but personal friends that are business owners discussing, we've discussed it. And I'm like, dude, the new marketing company we're using is outrageous. I mean, they're just killing it. I'm getting, leads consistently and they're vetting them. A lot of these marketing companies don't vet the customer. Right. So it's just here's a phone number, here's a name, here's an email, here's what they describe they want done. And then, like you said, half of them, you never can get on the phone.
Yep.
So it's much better. The first appointment I ever had off of you guys is a 30-some thousand, $35,000 job. That's the one, the VDA loan that she's trying to do this like agriculture loan.
Yeah.
She flat out told me, she said, are those people with your office? And I was like, well, sort of, because you don't want to get too descriptive, but it's like, They are. They kind of work for me and with me. They're my marketing company, and she spoke extremely highly of how you guys handled the first initial phone call.
Awesome. That's great.
So, yes, I don't know if you only do land clearing or if you guys are doing advertising for other stuff, but I don't know what it is you do different from on the land clearing side, but it is a huge difference. Huge
Thank
difference.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I mean, I'll do my best to keep sending you these appointments.
Okay.
Like I said, Chad, I mean, I say this to everybody, the first month is the slowest month. So I expect things to only get better from here, especially as we roll into the spring. You're still in, man, what we started in the dead of the winter, snow
We
on the
did basically. Yep.
disgusting weather, and you blew it out of the water, right? So
Correct.
I can't wait, can't wait for the spring, for the sun to start coming out. It's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, actually, trust me, I've thought about that on both sides. I'm like, how damn busy am I actually going to be? Yeah. So,
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
to the point with enough locked up, we're already discussing a new dedicated mulcher. So if that tells you anything, so I mean, we're looking at dropping 350K on something.
Yeah, that's a big purchase right there.
Yep, but it'll make things more efficient. So
Right.
we're considering it.
Right. All right. Well, let me know what you decide on that. That's a big decision.
Okay, I will.
But either way, we'll keep hacking away at it for you, sending you appointments, qualifying these leads for you. You have a full schedule waiting for you when you're back from Florida, so that should
Yep.
be nice. And keep me updated on everything. Keep me updated when you get this website finished, or the
Okay.
form finished, so we can get going on that, and we'll keep doing our thing.
Sounds good. I'll be back in touch the next couple of days.
Sounds like a plan, Chad. Well, you
Thanks,
take
Eli.
care.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, no problem. Take care, man.
All right. Bye bye.